So 2021 is the year for the gaming handheld. Now, a lot of people would say that handheld gaming never really went anywhere, and I would be one of those people. If you look at the fact that mobile gaming, people with their phones, flagship phones and even, entry-level phones now can run games pretty well. And a lot of people game on their phone. Plus, we have the Nintendo Switch, which isn't a dedicated handheld console by no means, but it is portable. You can throw it, up the old prison purse or in a backpack or purse or whatever and take it on the go with you. But it is a portable console. And then now we have the Valve Steam Deck coming out, which, by the way, this console here, this mini PC, I should say, is amazing. So a ton of people have now gotten hands-on time with it. Linus over there at Tech Tips has worked with it, as well as PC Gamer and a whole bunch of other platforms now. And from everything that I've seen, it's been incredibly impressive. Yeah, I do believe that handhelds never really went anywhere. For a lot of people, they've been playing them since the days of the Game Boy, the Sega Game Gear. Now we have more powerful handhelds. We have the Switch, and we have the Valve Steam Deck. We have the Switch OLED coming out later this year, as well as some of the Valve Steam Decks. And then early into next year, into probably mid of next year for the higher storage models, which I did reserve myself a 512 gigabyte anti-glare model, which is kind of the flagship top dog. It also kind of concerns me, I guess I would say, that reservations are only $5. A lot of people that just put their foot in the door and said, hey, I want one, they're going to cancel last minute, because when it becomes real that, hey, you have to pay them like $500, then a lot of people are going to be like, ooh, I can't do that. But, it's interesting how they did that. But I put my $5 down on one of these here bad boys, and I do think 2021 is going to be a big year, and 2022 as well for handhelds. Not only do we have the Switch OLED, which in my opinion is a huge letdown. So the Switch OLED, everyone thought we had a Switch Pro. There were so many solidified leaks, and there was even data mined updates and patches to the existing Switch dock that said 4K upscaled. So everyone's like, yep, it's going to have that NVIDIA chipset. It's going to be running at about PS4 Pro-like performance, so 4K 60 upscaled. We didn't get any of that. Whether Nintendo was in development of a Switch Pro and due to a silicon shortage, they were unable to actually deliver on that, we just simply do not know. But the fact is, what we do know is we're only getting the Switch OLED, which is an upgrade. I'm not gonna bullshit you guys. Oh, bleep that out there. I'm not gonna bullshit you guys. It is an upgrade. It has a 7-inch screen versus a 6.2, and it is OLED rather than LED. And it does have a couple of little slight tweaks. I made a video going over basically all the upgrades or enhancements. Does it warrant an extra $50? No, I think it should retail for about $10 to $20 more than the Switch at $300, because it only costs Nintendo about $8 to $10 more to produce the OLED. So they're pocketing a nice fat amount of cash. It's a huge cash grab from Nintendo, which is just unfortunate. Luckily, we have the Valve Steam Deck over here, which seems like a real technological marvel. Why do I say that? That's a huge, bold statement there, Cotton. How's it going to work out for them? Technological marvel? Really, Kevin? I would say yes, because we've never seen something like this. We have seen handheld gaming PCs with something like the Win 3 or stuff like the GPD, the ANEO, but those were all components slapped together that were meant for laptops and whatnot. This is an APU, so what you'd see like in consoles, built from the ground up specifically to work with their operating system, which is unique to this device and other Steam products as well. So it is running SteamOS, which is a Linux-based operating system, which does also have what is called Proton, which will allow Windows 10 games, which is obviously the majority of the games on the Steam library, that you are going to be able to play no problem. Now, there is a little bit of an issue with the anti-cheat right now in some competitive games, such as Apex Legends, PUBG, Rainbow Six Siege, so a lot of titles that people probably would like to try out on this little bad boy. So hopefully they get that all remedied. I'm sure they will. I'm not really too worried about the R&D over there at Valve. They are some very bright individuals. Every time they do a tech demo, I'm just more impressed with how much time and attention to detail they put into this. I was watching Linus's video earlier, and I was actually going to watch bits and pieces of it with you today, but I did some more research because, again, I'm pretty new to streaming. And apparently Twitch and Facebook gaming, YouTube doesn't really care that much if you watch other YouTubers, as long as you're using it in fair usage. Obviously, I'm commentating over it, and I give them fair credit where it's due. Hey, this is Linus Tech Tips we're watching. He's got a fat old schmeckle and a sweet channel. Check him out. I mean, pretty sure all you guys have heard of Linus Tech Tips by now. If you're watching me, you probably have heard of him at least. His demo was really good because he was hands-on with it. They let him do pretty much everything to the console besides, pull open its flap and have its way with it. They didn't let him disassemble it, but they did let him use a temp gun on it, like a thermal IR heat gun, to see where the the thermals were coming from. Basically has an exhaust port, and he said it ran incredibly good. Basically all the demos I've seen so far, what we're seeing is that it'll run pretty much anything. If you have to lower settings a little bit, it's a PC. You can simply taper back settings to target the frame rate that you want, whether that's 30 or that's 60. 60 is most likely what you're going to target as the screen. When you are portable, you're looking at 800p, 60 frames per second. Now granted, if you dock it, you can crank that bad boy all the way up to 4K. It probably won't run great, but it does have the option, so that's great. But there's also a lot of other interesting little consoles that nobody's talking about. A lot of them are just little indie developer houses and whatnot, kind of little startups and stuff like that, like the Panic Playdate over here and the Analogue Pocket. Now I have emailed the manufacturers, Analogue and Panic, as well as Valve and Nintendo. I'm pretty sure Valve and Nintendo are going to go tell me to, you know, myself. They're going to take one look at my sub count and be like, yeah, all right, bud. But, you know, I at least reached out to them to see if I might be able to do a demo, maybe an early preview with some of the hardware and whatnot. These guys might actually hit me up, which would be nice. I thought that a lot of the companies that I have worked with wouldn't really be interested in working with a small channel, but I have now worked with Razer, Turtle Beach, AIM, Hex Gaming, Mega Mods. Who knows? It's worth a try. It's certainly worth a try. You never know until you grab it by the horns and jerk it, so to speak. So it's just going to be a huge set of years for handheld gaming, and I'm really excited about it.